All right, next up here, guys, is got some new bushings. These are from a company called Strongflex. I was debating between a bunch of companies, but these ones are the closest to like stock. They're a little bit stiffer or harder, but nothing crazy because this is stuff I would usually keep OEM, but I'm replacing everything, and replacing with OEM stuff just seemed to make no sense. So only doing the stuff I absolutely had to. So this goes in the knuckle. So these small guys here, I already pressed them out, but goes in the knuckle for the track arms. This goes for the rears here. So these go 2 pieces here. You can see I powder coated the whole way through, so we'll see how this goes. They come with a ton, if you can see, a ton of this smart grease. And then these go in the front. These are the big guys that replace these here. So here are the factory ones. So let's put it side by side real quick, or if that's it upside down. So that replaces this piece here, and this will be your bottom piece then, so it'll sit like that. Comes with a new washer too, so it sits like that then. So it's a nice setup. I really am impressed with this. I like the fact they have the part number actually engraved into these two. They have a yellow version then, and then you can get this in a custom black apparently, and they just charge you 50% more because they offer it yellow and red. So if you want it black, they have to do like a custom setup. Anyways, yeah, so first ones we're gonna do are these guys here into the rears. Now again, you can see that we powder coated the whole way through when we did this from Bagworks. There's a little cut in it there, nothing hateful. But yeah, they had to be slightly cut for the fact that, well, we couldn't get the metal ring out. This one also has a cut, you can see there. Again, I don't think it's the end of the world. We'll find out. But yeah, so let's try pressing these in. So first thing I'm going to do here is try to get some grease out of this thing, apparently. If I can get some out. And again, I don't need to go too crazy. I know they say you put on as much as you'd like or blah, 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 but I don't know how much will actually go in without just pushing it out the other side. That's how you have to remember it too. So we'll see how much I can actually get on. Make sure it goes the whole way in there, because eventually it's just not really doing anything except just putting a bunch of crap on it for no reason. That's how I look at it. So I feel like that's enough there. And let's get the other one. If I can get some more out. As you can hear, my kids get yelled at inside because they're ornery as crap. Love them to death, but my goodness, kids are wild. Okay, so I did the one there. This is actually really easy. I didn't think it'd be this easy. Literally just that easy. I was like, oh, okay. I'm used to solid bushings where it's not this easy. I was like, this is mint. That, and then this one here, I did have to hammer a little bit because it didn't want to go the whole way through once it got to that point. So I just took the old hammer here and did that. And then she was done. Turtle. Both done. Magic. So first thing I need to do is apparently take this out, which I got the wrong freaking size. So take this out. Got my nice dress-up bolt. This is to lock it in. I don't even know if I need this anymore, but guess we'll see. Went ahead and lubed up the inside of that. You're going to take the big top piece here, and this should just press in too. And that's it. Pretty simple. Now there is another part to this bushing that goes on the bottom side, but I can't show that yet, but that's it. They literally just press in that easy. Not happy with red per se, red, blue. I wanted everything as black as possible, but that'll do. Everything else, yeah. So, all right. Now another thing I just got done doing was spraying this cavity wax inside the holes here. I borrowed this from my buddy Travis at Beaver's Auto Body. So I just got done doing it. I just had to spray this tube out too. Use brake cleaner to clear out. Use this to spray in areas after something's tanked, frame rails in a car, so on and so forth. Stuff is apparently pretty awesome. If you put it on the outside of a car, apparently it works really well too. But when you put it on the inside, it's supposed to be almost permanent, like, because, you know, there's not supposed to be water or anything to wash away or do anything like that. So I laid it in there pretty heavy. And then apparently it takes a couple days for it to dry, or almost a week, because it's supposed to, like, over time just slowly work itself through, down, up, and around, kind of like creep its way through where you spray it. So that's done. Let me put this back up here with all my other crap. And we'll go over to it here because I got some part numbers I want to show you too, because I can plop these things in now. So I squeeze by the car. So you spray it in these holes here. So there, got a couple spots there, and see if you can see in there. See if I can get the light. You can just see the yellow stuff. It's in there. And some of it's kind of thick, probably more than I need. But again, while it's out, rather do it. I put it up here, all through the back of there, made sure there's a hole here, sprayed it up and around. I went probably heavier than I needed to, but again, rather have it in there, protect it, because again, we did tank this, and I don't want to take any chances. Again, he did put powder in there, and I can see the powder, but there's spots I can still see. I'm like, I don't know if he fully got it. And again, rather safe than sorry. I don't want this thing rusting from the inside out. So now I need to wipe it off, because you can see where I got some overspray here, some came out there. So just got to wipe it off. But now that I'm done with that, I can put the plugs up top. So you can see here, this little plug, it's a factory part. You're gonna need a total of 6 of these guys. I don't know why it says 10 there, but that is the part number, and it's for these little plugs. So these guys here, I know you can buy these. The ones all popped out, actually pretty nice, but I'm like, if I can buy them new for like 45 cents a piece, I'm going to. And then they obviously give the most satisfying feeling ever, because they literally just pop in. So at least the other ones did. Let me guess, these are smaller up top? You gotta be kidding me. Whoopsie. Oh no, are they really smaller in some of them? No, they all look the same. No, maybe they're... I don't know. That one's in. So maybe those are different sizes. Shit. I think these are. No, you gotta be kidding me. Poop. So, never mind. I've got to get smaller ones that apparently go there. And there's one right here too. It looks like there should have been one there. So I want to get that also. So let me go look here and see what the skinny is, because I don't want to not have those plugged up, because again, dirt, debris getting in there. Again, it's a high point, so it gets in and drips down. Stuff on the low, it's not the big of a deal, but something comes up and then drips all the way through. I don't want that if I don't have to, just to keep it from, you know, rotting out. Well, it does turn out that those are smaller. They look the same. I assumed they were the same. And I didn't flip them over when I pulled them out. So yeah, you only need 2 of these, but the more I looked at this, I think I may still need 6 of these small ones, because maybe from the factory I don't do this, but I'm like, if the hole's there, it should be plugged off. I don't know why it's not, but there should be one here, here, and then underneath, yep, there's one on here too. So why not plug that off too? So I'm gonna do that also. Morning guys, so one more decision I just made. I'm not gonna paint the other side of the car, and I can already hear it. Should have done it. Everything's out, Ryan, why'd you do it? So the reason I'm not doing it is because everything's clean now. Now that I see it all clean up, for the most part, there's very little to no rust, besides what I mean rust, even like surface rust. Like, again, 180,000 miles and that's it. And I've talked to many people, and pretty much when you do undercoat the car, just like the factory undercoat that's there, all it does is collect dust. So the areas that are smooth, yes, I could paint black, but the paint's nice, and I almost rather it silver. So maybe down the road when I paint the car, I'll take that out, because unlike the engine, I think some of you guys are forgetting this, unlike the engine, besides brake fluid, it's just all on bolts. Like, it's not like the engine where I gotta drain the fluid, you gotta do all the stuff, you got wiring, like the back side of the car. Like, with me and Colton here, we could have it all, and again, because I'm not rebuilding the suspension, I could drop everything out, brake lines and everything, with me and him going at it, especially now that I've taken everything off, replaced it. If it takes us longer than 2 hours, we've got issues. I mean, it should not take that long, period. Especially if me and him would actually work at it. Realistically, we could probably do it in an hour, just because of all the right tools and everything else. But if we didn't rush, 2 hours. So if I want to do it or decide like, hey, it's getting worse, then I'll go down that route. Right now, it just doesn't make any sense. So I'm gonna start putting it back together today. I'm gonna put the brake lines in here, start with the putting the fuel lines, everything back in. So let's get to it. Just so we have a flat line of what it looks like before. So here's how it looks now. Again, still 10 times cleaner. Like, this was all black. Like, this was, and again, this is like a factory coating, but again, no like rust. And all here is it's like rubbed. It's where the tank literally rubbed. I always thought that was kind of funny. But like, all this is off, and that's factory coating stuff. So like, look, I just rubbed my hand on there. My hand's clean. Like, this is just what it is. I don't know what that coating is, but it's factory. So there's little like, what do you say, surface rust? Like, where's like this stuff here? Like, that is from where the shield used to be. I guess I could scuff that off, but again, this isn't covered, so I can do that after the fact. But that's, I mean, I really, right here, but again, this all gets covered up. I don't know. Like, it just, to me, didn't seem to make any sense at this time. As long as it's all clean, I've been wiping off a few things, so yeah, just put this back on. This is, I didn't realize, I was like, what is this for? It's for when you shut the door, this allows the car to pressure relief. I've got my dress up bolts on there. These use like a screw style bolt. You'll need a total of 4 of them. I'm not sure what they would be called exactly, but they're just extra ones I had. These are one of the areas though where it had like, again, little, if you can get in here, just little surface rust. Again, but to do this properly, I want the bumper off too. It's just getting to that point, I'm like, look, I promised myself I wouldn't, you know, short myself this winter, or short myself that like, hey, like, I can't drive it yet. Like, screw that. Like, I want to drive the damn car. So again, I digress. I just wanted to show everything under here. The only thing I'll probably do is coat the inside of this, because I scrubbed this pretty well clean. I'm going to scrub this up and paint this fully black in here, because this had faded off. I had like rattle canned it, but now that I truly scrubbed it, this is all off. I'm going to paint this properly. I can tape this off. It gives me a nice hard line to tape around. Can tape around the outside, use one of the old bags there, and just spray this real quick. I mean, that'll take me minutes. So yeah, I can do that when I even put everything else back in it for the most part. So it's not like the end of the world. I'll take this coiler out so I can spray behind it easier. But yeah, so let's go ahead and start putting the brake lines on. All right, let's turn my headband light on here. See if I can get some light up in this. So I've moved this into the factory clutch area. Now I'm going to fix this. So I think I'm going to make this a quick disconnect from Raceworks too. Because you know, when you take the transmission out, it does suck to bleed. I do put a cap on it, but I do have to re-bleed it every time. It's not the end of the world, but it's something that I'd rather not have to do. So I moved the line back behind it. I put this on it just because it's not held in there, and I'm probably going to put a zip tie around it just so it doesn't do this all the time, just because that causes chafing. That causes that swivel joint to constantly do it. So I had the line running through here before, but I've realized that, well, let's put the clutch on, because I had the clutch line like running back behind. It kind of like came out here. It was rubbing against this. If you can see it there, it's kind of rubbing. So not the best. Let's actually turn this off, see if I can get it to focus better. That's actually better without it. It looks actually better on camera than I can see. But yeah, I'm going to make something to go through here. I'll probably cut the line down, make it a quick disconnect from here. Raceworks makes a pretty cool fitting for that. Got all the lines in. This is in. Brake lines are in, so let's come down. And again, I already know, like, you should have painted it, don't care. I'm so happy I didn't now, because most of it's good. Just some scrape areas I'll touch up, but very happy. Started putting in some of the dress-up bolts, which I will go over the part numbers for these holes, the lengths you'll need to. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want any corrosion or anything to happen. And then same here, this is where I'm going to put a trans drive shaft loop and stuff. Actually, the drive shaft loop will go here. And these are just extra bolts from the factory the exhaust stuff. So I wanted to put bolts here and here, but I'm just placing, that's why they're loose right now. But again, ran up there, up and around. You'll see one zip tie. Now I do have Raceworks clamps on it here for the brake lines and everything. The reason I use a zip tie here is if you ever work in the car, you can't really get your hand up in here to like take this off. It's just a really awkward area. So if I do need to service it, I'm just thinking ahead. I'm just going to leave it with a zip tie. I know it's not as aesthetically pleasing, but at the end of the day, if the car does need worked on, I don't want to cause myself more headache or not able to get to it and be really pissed off. So zip tying it there, clamp, and a clamp. Now, why does it crisscross here, Ryan? Why does it do that? Well, when it comes up the Powerhouse Racing hanger, this goes back here and this goes here. If you're trying to go up through the tank, you don't want it crossing through the tank up here, so it's easier to cross here. You have way more room, and it just goes up nice and smooth up through the tank like so. And yeah, it just makes life a lot freaking easier that way. So I'm hoping this is enough line. I mean, it's the same setup as before, but it just seems shorter all of a sudden. I don't know why it does, but it definitely doesn't seem like I have as much line all of a sudden. I don't know why, but I definitely don't feel like I have as much line. But let's go over some more OEM bolts and washers. So there's the part number, and that's going to be for these three guys here. You'll need 3 of those. Again, that is the part number. The bolts weren't in bad shape, but again, if I was ordering all the other stuff, it was just cheap, and I'm going to get all that stuff re-zinced one day. So yeah, the factory coating on this should last a long time, as long as you're not driving in salt and everything else. And I just cleaned up this bracket, and this was already powder coated once before, so threw that on. Next up is really putting the gas tank in, which it takes 2 people to really do that. So I got to wait till my buddy comes over to help me. But yeah, this is going a lot faster. This is fun. Little interruption here while I'm doing some other stuff, but just drilled a little hole right here. And I put it here because I'm putting a USB-C port in. If you guys saw the last video there, I got the, got the new radio in, and it has a USB port through the back. And I can have the cord sit out or come out the side, but I'm like, I want to be able to put my phone away. And if I want to, I can put a small cord come out the side. And my phone currently uses a lightning cord, but I know everything's going USB-C, and you can get USB-C adapters. Plus, I like the fact that you don't know which way does it go in. It doesn't matter. USB-C doesn't matter, and it's a small port. So I found this online. It's like $6. It's USB-C to USB-A. Forget the name of the company here, but here is the part number, and here, I guess that's the company, USB-C socket to USB, and I brought it from that ad. I don't know. It came in like 3 days, though, so it's some company here in the U.S., but that's the part number for it. I got 2 of them, one for my car, one for hers, and the shipping was fast, so yeah, it came in a couple days, and it was U.S. shipping too, so it's got to be somewhere here. Yeah, so I put it here also, because I was going to put it right here. Obviously, it's easier to do that. The reason I like it here is the cord can stick out. I don't have to worry if I put somebody in here, come in and smash the cord or be in the way. This is a coin slot. I can't remember last time I had coins, and it just keeps it out of the way and keeps the cord from being bent up. And it allows me to keep using this. So I thought it was a win-win. If I don't keep my phone in here, it doesn't really matter. So I had to drill that hole. The other thing I had to do is make one little cut there. So I had to cut that square out. What I did is just took a pair of dikes and clipped it, and then just, that literally snapped over and just broke off. Now someone's be like, Ryan, you're ruining your center console. You can still buy these. I hate to let you know. So you can still buy these new for like 120 bucks. I've got one extra one in the basement. Both cars, this is brand new. Well, brand new years ago. I bought a brand new one for that. And I have one extra one in the basement just because God forbid something happens, at least I have it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the car now. And it uses a little lock ring on the back to hold it in. Pretty simple. So you guys can see there, this allows the cord to go directly in. It's notched here already from the factory. So if you can see there, it's notched. So the cord just has like a perfect spot to sit, and boink. And now we got perfect USB-C. That makes me turn my headlamp off. That makes me really happy. That worked out really well. I don't like cutting up the box, but if that's the worst I got to do, it doesn't cut up anything here. Yeah, I think that turned out really nice. And again, this is what it looks like on the bottom side then. So yeah, you can see where it just cuts out there. And then I have an adapter that comes with the radio that plugs directly into that then. Makes it easy. All right, let's start going over some of these bolts here. So for these back here, these are exhaust hanger bolts. You'll need 4 of these with a washer. These are M8 by 1.25. You can get them in 20 or 25 millimeter. That's up to you. 20 is all you need. Then you'll need another 2 here and here. Again, exhaust stuff. M8 by 125. Again, with a washer. Next is M10 by 1.25. These, I believe I got in 20 or 25 also. Again, they don't need to be super long, but that's where those go. Now, as we put the tank up here, which is the next step, we're gonna be putting the tank straps on and the tank. My buddy Eric's coming over to help me out. Now, for the tank straps, I did buy new bolts that go up in here. Now, the bolts that I bought or that I'm using for the actual tank itself are titanium, and I'll show those also. But here's the new bolts that actually hold the tank up. I didn't want to do these in titanium, which I could have easily got in this length with a big washer. But again, it's holding up the fuel tank. I didn't want to take any chances. That's it's a pretty serious area. I don't even want to reuse the old bolts just because it's a fucking tank. Sorry for the language, but yeah, I don't want to take the chances. So I have the mounts laid up. So that's the one that goes over there. This one goes here, and it goes up just in that orientation. So the furthest one goes up in this orientation, and then this one goes up in this orientation like so. And I wanted to have everything laid out and ready to go. So when we put it up, we'll jack it up in the air and then put it up in. Now, the one thing I went ahead and did too is pull the electrical down through, because I want to be able to put it up while the tank's going up. I want to be able to run it up with it, just for the fact that trying to stake it up through sucks. It is absolutely horrible. So I wanted to be able to do it now. One other thing I did too, I noticed this line here had a long area, so it goes from here down, up and over, and it still moves a little bit, but having this clamp right here helped a little bit, because it at least doesn't bang in there. I just didn't want it to rattle. This has enough that it has all these clamps here, but this one here had me a little worried, so I did that. This one here is fine. You can see it doesn't move at all. And then once it's bolted to this, it won't move. It'll be hard mounted there. So yeah, this is going a lot faster, because once I get the tank in, then I can put the cradle in, and realistically I can put the cradle in first if I wanted to, but I want to put as much of the heavy stuff in first. I'd like to get the tank in just because that's the most weight, keep weight on the back of this, and then I can put the cradle in, and that means I can take that stand out. Although the stand isn't really holding the car up, it's just more of a safety precaution for myself. So the tank is in now. I forgot how much of this is all covered up once you start putting everything in. So again, that makes me feel even better about painting everything. Now it's all clean up there, which is nice. Same with the tank. I put the lines up there. Now I'm gonna have to attach everything. But yeah, so now I can put the tank cover back on, which I have these dress-up bolts. You need a total of 6 of these. These are their 10 millimeter length ones. You don't want to go too long, because you can see if it'll focus here. Let's get this one. See that? It's not very deep, and it's just a flat panel you're bolting to it, so you obviously don't want to go up in through the tank. So see here, with the tank on it, it'll literally be just long enough. It'll be perfect. So these are little 10 millimeter ones. And yeah, I'm glad I powder coated these straps. If you guys want to, I would highly recommend doing that too. Powder coating them instead of buying new, and just clean up the rubber straps. Again, this will all get covered up here. This isn't dirt. This is just, I guess, dirt engraved into the plastic. I tried scrubbing it, but I don't want to like scratch it or sand it just to get it off, because, well, I don't want to put a hole in the tank. You know, much more material, the better. Yeah. So got this is back on too. The light outside keeps screwing up because I'm shooting up, so it's seeing these lights and this, it keeps screwing up my autofocus on this camera. So that's up in. You can see now. Now I know they have this rubber strip. Now that I see it though, I really don't need this rubber strip per se. So I was gonna take it off, but I'm like, yeah, it's there from the factory. Glad I did that stainless line now. Don't have to worry about that. And it doesn't touch. I was worried if I bent it properly, so it's got plenty of room and then some. Sweet. So I'm just waiting on my buddy Eric now. He's gonna help me put that in, and I'm gonna try and get the tank cover on myself. All right, so tank's back in with the straps. I wanted to show you guys the part numbers for those bolts there. Those guys right there is this part number right here. You need a total of 4 of these for the tank straps, okay?
Got everything back in. Let's turn this light off actually, see if it focuses actually better. It does, more natural light there. But you can see tank, then they have from the factory a rubber neck here, because again, it's right in the an area that rocks, things of that nature can get kicked up into it. So you have that, then it has this little guard here, okay, that helps come up around the neck area. Then there's another shield that comes out from here and protects this. Then you have the plastic wheel well shield. So hats off to Toyota, they really went above and beyond, which again, they should, because right here is an area where something get flung up, hit this, and you know, could cause catastrophe. So I wanted to make sure I put all that back in. I've also got the dress-up bolts in. Again, you need a total of 6 of these little guys, okay? They are M6 by 1.0. They are the 10mm length. Remember, 10mm length because they're short ones. So there's a total of 6, one there, and then there's 2 up top, so you can just barely see the one more up there, here, and then right here. So waiting for my buddy Eric, and we're gonna put up the subframe next, but look how much all that covers up already. Again, I was gonna paint all that. The area that you can see the most is there. But again, to do that right, I need to strip it because I don't want to add any more of that rough texture shit. I want that off and get something a little bit smoother. Like that stuff's on there heavy. Like this isn't even bad. That wouldn't mind. But look at this here. Like you can't even see that's a frame rail. It's smeared on so heavy from the factory. I don't know what they were thinking, but hate it. So getting a lot closer here. Yeah, pumped. I'm not putting that on yet, just for the fact that I am probably going to spray these, just black paint or whatever, just some undercoating style paint. Yeah. Good to go. Yeah, that's in. A couple things I want to show you guys. You're going to need a total of 8 of these. So I need to order this nut. I just fell out. Anyways, it's just for this clamp here. But you're going to need a total of 8 of this part number here for these guys. All right, there's little 14mm. I think they're 12mm actually. You're going to need a total of 8 of those. All right, because they go over here. Also in there. And then you're going to need 2 of these guys. That and that. And to me, those are the most crucial. So it's like, you know, they're going threaded up into big boy threads up there. And again, because they are new, I tried putting the old bolt in even, and it was just so coarse. I even tried cleaning up the threads. I'm like, it's not worth it. Just put a new bolt in it. The part number for that is right there. So again, you're gonna need a total of 2 of those for that right there. And you see, I'm starting to put more titanium in. I'm just trying to see what goes where. Now these might be a little too long because of these bushings. They, unlike factory, stick out past. So these can't, in the past I didn't care. They could stick up a good bit. I didn't give a crap. And now it looks like I need to get this in like a 12 or a 15mm length because these are 20. Because if not, it's going to actually dig into this or it won't even go up. I think it's just going to destroy it. So I need to get shorter versions of these. All right, next up, let's put on this plethora of parts I still have here. So next up, we're putting these on. I put the one brace on. It's just I guess a brace for the subframe to keep it from, I don't know. But you're going to use a total of 8 on these, so you need 4 for each side. So I already put the one on. Again, this is an M8 by 125. I believe this is a 20mm length. You can go 25. There's plenty of pass-through area. You could probably go a bit shorter if they have a 15, but I would rather stick out a little bit just because, I don't know, just preference. So you need a total of 8 of these. Again, M8 by 125 or 120. Or I'm sorry, M8 by 125 in 20 or 25 length. That is up to you. All right, it is time to install some suspension. So there's bolts here. I did miss one of the eccentric washers though. I thought I ordered them. I actually go back to my list because I'm a little like, did I actually forget it or did Toyota go, oh, oopsie, like they messed up. So I just want to make sure that it's not actually me and it's them. So I need to double check that. That's okay. That's all right. Just want to make sure. I need to put that cap in that. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to show you guys the part numbers for this stuff. What always bugs me though, or bothers me this time around, is to see that it's black, right? It's a little bit smaller, which is right. But some of the stuff is zinc coated like that. Why Toyota did that? And then some stuff is silver, black. Again, on this side, the bolt, the nut for it, silver. And that's what it actually calls for. Like that's the actual part number. Like I looked this up. So I'm like, that makes 0 sense because I'm matching part number to part number. So I'm like, whatever. But yeah, now this stuff has a ton of flexibility. So getting this thing dialed in is a lot more complicated than the front. So you can see flexibility. I can spin this. All this stuff from the factory is not adjustable. Not adjustable. I believe this is not, I can go over there and check, but I believe this is not adjustable. No, this isn't adjustable, this isn't, this is adjustable, and that's not either. That's about it. You really can adjust this, and you can adjust your eccentric bolts, that's it. So this has a lot more adjustment to it. So yeah, I'm excited to try and get this set up and the car looking proper now. So yeah, I'm gonna shut up and let's get the rest, and let me show you some of these part numbers. All right, so for the back,
back arms or whatever, for the, I guess, the lower control arms. Here's your eccentric washer, which is this part number here. All right, let me pull this up. So that's the part number you'll need. Then you'll have your eccentric washer, which is this part number here. Again, you'll need 2 of these. Then you'll need 2 of these nuts, which is this part number here. And then you'll need 2 of these nuts, which is this part number here. Then for the front one, you'll need this part number here for the eccentric bolt. Okay, for the camber bolt, I guess. You'll need 2 of these. You'll need a nut and the washer, same as over here. So again, it's that part number and that part number. But I don't have the, whatever this thing's called, the camber adjuster or whatever, because this one is different for the front. I don't know why I didn't. I thought I had it on the list, but I guess I didn't order it, so that's my fault. Next up is this bolt here that goes for the traction. Now you're going to need bottom too, because with this setup, you have to use a factory bolt. So for this here, on the top piece, you're going to want this part number here. You're going to need 2 of these bolts, okay? And then you're going to need 2 of these nuts. I don't know why they use a different nut for it, but they do. And that is this part number here. Again, you're going to need 2 of those for the traction arm. Then down at the knuckle itself for the traction arm, you're going to need these 2 bolts, which is that number there. And then again, you're going to need these nuts and washers. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, right? And then going to the coilover, you're going to need these bolts. So it's going to be, move this here, you're going to need that bolt. Come on, get the reflection off. That bolt. And then they have their own special washer, which is that there. And the white says 4, you only 4, 2 and 2. And then here is the nut they use specific for it too, which is this 1406. So we'll get that. There we go. So yeah. That's it, guys. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. Again, since I'm using custom arms, I'm not using factory bolts everywhere, so the stuff I didn't cover, you're going to have to figure that one out if you're not using Phase 2 Motor Trend. And then next, I'm going to assemble the hubs here, which I'll show that too. Guys, let's talk about things I don't want to have to do anytime soon. Now that I know a few things, so big shout out first and foremost to Big O Motorsports. I was getting really frustrated with these clips, but let's go in order here. First thing you need to do is put in your e-brake cable. To do this properly, you want to loosen up this shield, which you can't take it off just because of everything else there. Well, I guess you can. Well, really you can't because of this here, but just loosen up. If you got bolts already on it, loosen up, slide this up through, then bolt it to the e-brake cable, put it back down, put your 12mm bolts back in that hold the backing shield on. Next, when you're putting these shoes on, I made the mistake, I watched the video online, don't put these on first. First thing you want to do is attach the e-brake cable to the swinging arm, which I showed in a previous video, or maybe it was in this one, the swing arm on this. Then there's this little green spring here, just one, and this is aftermarket kit. So this little green spring here that hides behind, because there's 2 other ones up top, ignore those for now. Put this on first. That goes at the very bottom of the e-brake shoe system, okay? After you've done that, you got both the shoes sitting on here, then you can do this retention. To put this on, I highly recommend sliding up from behind, putting on your pieces, holding it with the back of your hand, and then pressing it down using this hole. Again, I got this from Oscar at Big O Motorsports to do it this way. What I used started with needle nose pliers, but what I have are these. So this allows me to, when I'm pushing it down, I can press out with it here. So it's a reverse spring. So I could hold that piece there, hold it down as I press down, and I could twist it to lock it into place. So I could push down, twist, and lock it into place then. This side's a lot easier because it's straight up. This one has that weird bend, which makes it a little bit more of a pain. Once you've got that done, you need to put these 2 springs on here. So you got a spring here and a spring right here. I used needle nose and just cranked them over. Definitely took some little bit of oomph. And then lastly, we have our adjuster. This is your e-brake cable adjuster. So just a reminder, never adjust from inside the car. Use this is what it's meant for, to adjust your e-brake cable, how tight it needs to be. This is where you want to adjust from. So just giving you a little heads up. Yeah, but I got that kit again off Rock Auto. The other one over there is done too. Now that the hubs are all back together, what I need to do is install it onto the car. All right, so I'm going to show doing the other side, but I wanted to show what it looks like over here so far. These arms make life so much easier. If you got other coilovers too, I think it's the back ones here. There's usually a spacer you put in here or another washer. With these, you do not need that. But this all went together really nicely. One thing I did do though is I greased up all these hubs. I put, oh crap, what's it called? I can't even think of it right now. But I know if you get them on your hands, it sucks. So greased up everything so everything slides in and out nicely. Everything's fitting up. Now I can adjust all this stuff after the fact. So if I want to, I can pull this in. Again, these are my traction arms. I love that they're adjustable now. So we'll dial this all in. Yeah,
Sway bars are on. Look at that. Dress-up bolts everywhere. Dress-up bolts, dress-up bolts. Even my e-brake cables. I had these, which you can't, apparently you can't buy, and they don't throw these away if you get new e-brake cables because you need them. I had these powder coated. One nice thing, the reason I powder coat everything is it's flexible. Unlike paint, like I can bend these out, bend it back, and it won't crack. Within reason, but they have a long area that they can go. Put one there. I even powder coated this little bracket because it was rusted, and it's just a pass-through bracket, and put a dress-up bolt there. Some more here. This is an M6 by 1.0, and this is a short 10 millimeter. These are M8 by 125 here, and right here, and those are the 15 millimeter length. You don't need the really long ones for that. And I think that's it for right now. I went over those ones already. There's a few other places I got to do yet too, so I'll go over if I found any more bolts. Realistically, I'm getting close. I just need to do the other side. One thing I don't have is the dust shield on this. My buddy BB said he could not get it on to save his life, so I'm going to see if I can try something else. But I don't like not having it. It's not the end of the world, I guess, but I would prefer to have it if possible. All right, so I noticed I hadn't been recording much of me installing anything, so wanted to show you guys some of this stuff here. So when you put these arms on, this is going to be moved down a little bit, but these arms are adjustable just like everything else. But these are a tight fit, so you might need to adjust it slightly there. Fit up in, and then slide this bolt. I always do this bolt from the front to back like this. I don't know why. I just always have. I'm not sure if that's even the right way to do it from OEM. If I can figure it out. There we go. That goes through like so. Washer, nut, which I talked about those part numbers earlier, so again, I'm not tightening this stuff up yet, but at least do that. Next, what I need to do is raise this arm up. This one up top is stiff for some reason, I don't know why. Again, this is all loose right now, so take this off. These are just all castle nuts. I just want to take all this off because I'm about to bring the hub over. Now, if you guys can see the orientation of this is facing the forward part of the vehicle. Same with this, same faces backwards. And again, I lubed up all of the slide areas where this is going to slide onto with grease, just so it doesn't lock up on me over the years. So again, this will go like this. This slides down in. I'm going to try and get this all on video, me just throwing it in. All right, let's do this one first. All right. Once I get one in, I feel a little bit better, so I don't at least drop this. That's one thing I don't want to do. Next, slide this one in. All right. Watch a redneck try to install hearts. Hi, on today's episode of Dropping Stuff. But as I'm like grunting, like this is so hard. Like I watch Yosnani's videos still to this day. I love his stuff. And he's outside working on his back still. And I'm like, my fucking old ass. I'm like, oh, I can't do this anymore. There we go. I don't know how he does it, bro. Like, I don't. That man is a legend. Then again, he's built like a brick shit house. Him and Joel both. When I see those guys look like living legends. They're so fucking swole. And my skinny, fat ass. That's like the dumbest thing I ever said, skinny and fat. I got that fat body build. All right, so that's on. And now we gotta put the track arm on, which is over here, so let's move the camera. So this just swings up like so I gotta take this off first. I don't know why I got the bolt facing the wrong way. On the outside of it. So this needs to, I have to adjust this to it. There we go. Hold on. Boom. And like so, washer, nut. Come on, thread on. There we go. And that's on like that. Again, this all needs to tighten up. Now that's on. Now let's do the e-brake cable. We gotta slide it through here. And I've got two brackets I gotta show you installing. All right, for this bracket here, you're gonna install this one. We're on the driver's side of the car. They call that the left bracket. It actually has an L on it. So there's an actual L on this bracket like right here. So that just slides over this like so. And then you're gonna clamp to right here. So there's a little spot right here I need to clamp to. So take this and clamp that down back around it. Again, this is powder coated. Now this is the one that's a little bit, you have to like finagle it. So you gotta slide it into this slot here and see if I can even get it. It doesn't even want to. I want to have to get a bolt and shove it through. So let me go get my dress-up bolt real quick. So I'm gonna take this dress-up bolt, shove it on through, see if I can get it to go through first. So it looks like the clamp needs adjusted some. There we go. Grunting away there, Jimmy. I'm one double cheeseburger away from being obese. I'll tell you that much. Might not even be one double cheeseburger. Oh, come on. This is a little bit more of a pain in the ass than the other side. All right, so now it's started. I can swing this bracket around because it needs to fit right there. Make sure it's sliding in that slot. It is. All right. Again, not the end of the world, but using my Harbor Freight ratchet. Some stuff I have Harbor Freight, some stuff is actually really nice.
Actually, this Harbor Freight stuff isn't bad either.
Sorry for the light blowout, guys, too. It's just not a good spot for all of this. So it needs to go the other way. Take this bracket, slide it over like that. Slide over this then, and clamp that down. And just like the other one, it's probably easiest if I just shove the bolt through first. If I can even get it through, which it won't. Of course it won't, because it's gonna piss me off now. Of course, why would it go through easily and make my life easy?
Now I'm doing some other things. This is where I'm being a little extra. I just painted these. These were in the best condition. I just spray painted them. But I'm using dress-up bolts here. You'll need a total of 12, 6 for each side. And you can use anything, but M6 by 1.0 is the thread pitch. You can use 15, 20, 20. It doesn't matter because it goes the whole way through. So whatever you have available, 15 is all you really need. 20 was what factory was, which was really long for some reason. So I don't know why it was so long because you don't need all that. But yeah, so just did that, and now I just got to replicate on the other side and bolt it up. I'll also put this panel in. You'll need an M6 by 1.0 here. I believe this is, again, protect the gas tank, but it goes over the bolt. Don't know why. You'll need one there, and then, see if I can see it, that one right there, again, M6 by 1.0 by 15 millimeters, all you need, and you need two of those. So if you guys can see, I got a lot more done. I got the brakes on and stuff, but I want to kind of go over some mishaps that happened. I've got some axles sitting in here too. Now, by the time hopefully this video goes live, I'll have this resolved or fixed. But you can see e-brake cables are all on, all the fittings are on, brake lines are on, everything is bled. Well, I had a little problem. Apparently, this is the first time I've never had this much issue, but I had two not flared right. And unfortunately, it was two that kind of suck. So this bottom one, the flare cracked on it. So that's the one downside of stainless steel. It's very hard but brittle metal. So if you flare it too much, it will already split. And it split down inside the flare area. So it kept leaking here. This one up here, I'm not sure why, but it didn't look like it. I got it under a microscope, couldn't see it, but it was leaking. So I had to take this whole line off the whole way up over. Full fluid over all this stuff. Had to put towels everywhere. It sucked. Reflare it, cut it, reflared it. This one here, I had to make a whole new line. That's why the bend looks like crap now versus what it used to look like, because since it's such a tight radius, I couldn't cut it, reflare it. I had to make a whole new line that came up and around and goes up over and into there. And you can see that doesn't look as nice now either. I was a little upset that unfortunately that didn't flare well. So I kind of got stuck with that. But everything's back in. I started tightening up the bolts. I do need to get castle nuts. I've been marking things with tape for right now to know it's done. And then I'm going to paint marker everything too. So make sure none of the nuts or bolts come loose. I have been putting the cotter pins in for the castle nuts. I did strip one castle nut over here. Thank God the nut itself, so the bolt's fine. So I ordered some new castle nuts just to have those in. And I did order some alignment. I must have, when I did my order, I forgot to get these guys here on both sides. So I've got the back ones, just not those. I could reuse old stuff, but if I'm doing everything else new. And I got a few extra plugs that go inside the cradle to keep moisture out, just because, you know, it breathes from the bottom. I don't want water getting in from the top. If I can keep moisture from going inside, keep it from rusting, that would be ideal. I do really like the way this all came out though. Like you see the splash shield there, tank cover. I mean, this is all gonna look great. And the reason I got those towels wrapped around there is because the axles, I don't want them rubbing against the powder and scraping it up. So those towels are cheap. I'll just buy new ones. I just Again, any dirt or grime gets on them, I don't want to use it on the paint of the car then. Looks like I am going to need some triple weights soon. I got a little bit of life left, but not a whole lot. So looks like I'll be ordering those soon, or might as well get them on order because I know what a pain in the ass it is to even get them. Yeah, but it looks really good. I should have bent these in a little bit more because when the car squats, it's going to be, yeah, I don't like that. Should have brought these in a little bit more. And unfortunately, to do that, you got to re-bleed it. But yeah, I can see, look at that. I don't like how close that is. That's gonna, yep, I gotta bring those in. I don't have a choice. I'll have to re-bleed that. Yeah, I don't want to take any damn chances. That's my own fault. Dumb Ryan. The one thing I did want to talk about though was, this is where I said, hopefully this is all solved by then, but these keep slinging out grease. So is anyone else's caps able to like shift and move? I talked to Alex from Absolute Driven Performance. He's like, no, mine don't do that. Like I can pull this cap off everything. He's like, no, mine are, he's like blue silicone or something on his. But like you can see, if I press on it here, I can like literally tighten it up some. So I'm like, yeah, mine sling out grease like it's going out of style. So I don't know if I can take the cap off, if I can just use like some, I don't know, something to seal it up. And it comes out, slings out of these holes too, where the bolts go. So I'm just curious if anyone else has that issue. I just don't want all this stuff getting covered again. You know, it's all going to be new and nice. I don't want it slinging out because I had like a perfect line exactly where the axles were on both sides. And I had cleaned it off before and I knew it was coming from these. So factory axles never did it, but these do. So I'm hoping to have an answer. If not, you guys let me know down in the comments. Another thing I'm doing is going through the bolts. Now I save all this stuff. These bolts are not cheap, right? Like they're fine realistically if I'd clean them up. So I hold on to all this stuff, trying to keep some stuff baggy. So like alignment bolts, if I do need it, at least I have them here. They're old ones, but if I need something or a nut or anything of that nature, same thing with this. I'll keep these in baggies, but the rest of it, I'm going to take out all the little stuff, this cup, these big bolts here even. I'm going to take it all out. These are clips, some more little bolts, but this stuff is nice just in case you need it. I mean, the bolts aren't bad, and some of these are big boys, so they do come in handy when needed. So take them all out and dump them into my extras box. And when I mean extras, look at that sand stagger, medium, not ruined, little built to perfection. I got my wall of decals here. So this is where I keep everything. I need to redo this because it's a mess. Some of the connectors and stuff are in here. It's not the best, but I keep a lot of nuts and bolts in here. I think this is my brake fitting one, and I try to label tape AN fittings, brake stuff. My titanium stuff's over there, but here's stuff that I had re-zinc coated. Got the big stuff is in this one, and then these are just all extras in here. That whole thing is full, so I'll dump the rest in there. Had these done, but again, just the finish on them is atrocious. Like that was sent out for zinc coating. Look at that. Look how rough that is. So I'm gonna have most likely all this stuff redone. Eventually, like, take it all stripped. I just gotta find a company that does it all. I just want every single nut and bolt done and done properly.